Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to learn a few tips and tricks on how to build our musical roadmap and flesh out our knowledge of the fretboard without getting really intimidated by, oh my gosh, if you don't put that away right now, I swear to God. Okay, thank you. Here's the number one thing I want you to take away from this video. Do not try to memorize this fretboard like it's the 50 state capitals. It's much easier than that. There are only 12 notes and 7 music letters. I'm going to give you some quick anchor notes and ways to help tie our roadmap of the fretboard together without trying to remember however many notes that is. Let me lay something heavy on you real fast. There are not 47,000 note letters. There's not even 60. There's not even 47. There's only 7 note letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And there's only 5 notes we call flats and sharps in between those plain note letters. So that means there's only 12 notes. Not 42,000, not 84 billion, 12. All right, so let's put these notes on the fretboard and see what they look like. We've got C, D, E, F, G, A, and Q. I'm just kidding, it's B. So it looks like a lot of notes, but there's one simple pattern connecting it all, okay? Follow along. Almost every note has 2 frets or 1 whole step in between them. So C to D, and D to E, G to A, F to G, A to B. But there's 2 exceptions. E to F has only 1 fret apart, or 1 half step, and same with B to C. All you have to remember is E to F is 1 fret, and B to C is 1 fret. Everything else is 2. So once you know this, you can figure out where any note is just by following this pattern, right? So if I start on the open A string, A, 2 frets, B, 1 fret C, 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret to F, and so on. Knowing that, it makes it a lot easier to understand that it's not just like a random assortment of notes. They go in the same pattern over and over again, up and down the fretboard on every single string. Now that we know that, let's look at my anchor note trick. We're going to use the 3rd, 5th, and 7th frets on the E string as well as on the A string, because they're all plain note letters, and it's going to be really easy to use those as landmarks to help remember where notes are on the fretboard. Okay, so let's start with the E string. The 3rd fret is a G note. Think about a G chord. That bottom note, that G is right there hanging out, hiding in plain sight. Didn't we say that most notes have 2 frets between them? So what do you think the 5th fret's going to be? That's right, it's going to be an A note. So 5th fret is an A note. That's our 2nd anchor. Going on with this pattern, the B note is 2 frets away on that 7th fret marker. 0, 3, 5, 7. 4 note letters. E, G, A, and B. That's over half the note letters. So that gets us off to a great start. Oh, and what else? There's a high E string as well. So if you know those note letters, that also means you know the highest string. So it's a 2-for-1 special. Let's look at the A string. The 3rd fret on the A string is a C note. That's going to be our next anchor that we want to remember. 2 frets up from that, probably going to be a D, huh? You right, it's a D note. And what's the next letter after D? It's an E. So let's tie all that together. We've got on the E string, G, A, and B on the 7th fret. And then on the A string, we've got C, D, and E. That's almost every single note letter except F, which is the 1st fret of the E string. This one doesn't fit in with the fret markers, but it's easy enough to remember. E to F is only 1 fret. Boom, so it's right there. And also, if you know about an F chord, it's the bottom note. There's lots of different ways to kind of help reconfirm and think about where notes are in different perspectives as well. But just using this fret marker trick, E, G, A, B, and A, C, D, E, you have a lot of knowledge at your disposal, and you will basically have the fretboard marked out for 3 of the 6 strings right off the top. Now let me show you a tip that ties in with that really, really well to help you expand your ability to play solos and jam and understand how to translate between different keys. And that secret sauce is the pentatonic scale. Specifically, this first pattern right here, starting on this 5th fret, going up to this 8th fret. That's all we're looking at here. Notice this symmetry with all of these strings going up and up and up, all on the 5th fret. That looks like this. Every single string, I'm just putting my first finger on the 5th fret. The only other part you have to remember is this pattern of switching between the pinky, or 3 frets away, and 2 frets away. So the lowest E string on the outside is index and pinky. And then the next 3 strings are index ring, index ring, index ring. And then we finish up with 2 more index pinky strings. This pattern is really, really symmetrical, and your first finger literally doesn't have to think at all. It's just going up and down. And so because of that, this is a really, really great place to start when you're learning how to do scales. The C major pentatonic scale, the root is C. So if you look at this pattern and notice where the C's are, 8th fret of the E string and 8th fret of the high E string, as well as the 5th fret, the first note, of the G string. That's where our root notes are in this pentatonic scale. This is huge. Once you understand this basic pattern, and you see where the root notes are, if I take this shape and say I know the pinky is a C note, and maybe I want to play an E major instead. If I know that the 12th fret is an E, which it is, I can move my pinky up to E, and I can play the exact same pattern. We change keys just like that. All you have to know is how to find that anchor note, or the root note, inside of this pattern, and then you just translate that note, and then the whole thing comes with you. So if I go from pinky here to here, and we've learned that the 5th fret of the E string is A, well, now I know if I play that same pattern, now I'm an A major. Just like that, learning one scale pattern lets you play in any key you want. This will work all the way up and down the fretboard. It makes it easy to use the same pattern, and all you have to know is where's the root note. This will help you a lot when you're trying to figure out how to utilize your fingers more and how to go up and down the fretboard more efficiently. The other reason why this particular scale pattern is so useful for us to understand the major scale and the fretboard is because it's a skeleton of a major scale. And so, if you know how to play this, you're only 2 notes away from a full major scale. We're adding B and F back into the scale of notes. And all we've done is we've taken the same basic framework, and now we've added some kind of accent or leading tones inside of them, specifically this B and F in these spots here. And so if you play those extra notes, you have a full C major scale at your disposal. So that's going to sound more like this. This is useful for many, many different reasons. Say you're playing a song and it's a solo you want to play in pentatonic, you know, like sick. But what if you want to add some accents or extra flavors in there? You can tease the full major scale anytime you want to, and it's lovely. Just knowing where those 2 extra notes are is going to really help you use both of those scales to your advantage. Now that you know that that pentatonic scale is easily translatable, let's take what we know to be the root note of the C here. Now I want to play in B. I go down 1 fret, and I'm good to go, baby. Check it. and the accent notes are exactly the same. If you can remember those anchor notes, and you can remember where the root note is in this pentatonic scale, you can move this anywhere you want. And one last thing to blow your mind. Every major scale has a minor scale hidden inside of it. All you have to do to find that with this scale pattern is, it's where your index finger starts. So here, you've noticed that this scale pattern doesn't start on C, it starts on an A. Whoa, that sounds different. That's because I just played an A minor pentatonic. But, watch this. If I go to A minor, it's the exact same notes. Every single key has a minor key hidden inside of it. Say you're playing an A rock scale, all you have to do, find where your index finger starts that scale and find the note that you want to play. So let's say I want to play in B minor. 7th fret of the E string, B, and let's try it out. It's yours for the taking. It's a cheat sheet to understanding how to utilize a scale pattern anywhere on the fretboard. And as you can see here, there's all sorts of different patterns and places you can play these notes, which is excellent to know. Not only that, but you can combine them together, right? It's this pattern that just goes everywhere and everywhere. If you know how to find your home note by using this one scale pattern, it's going to help you expand your knowledge of the fretboard by leaps and bounds, because you're going to be better and better at finding where these root notes are. Sick! So today we learned how to help build our musical roadmap of the guitar by using anchor notes on our fret markers, then utilizing the pentatonic scale and understanding how we can translate that to any other key and also find a whole major scale inside of it, and how it's also a minor scale. So now it's your turn to put it to the test and get some practice in, start translating into different keys, maybe put on jam tracks and scoot our little pattern onto whatever fret you want. This will be great practice for finding where the notes are and also understanding how easy it is to use this scale pattern anywhere you want to. So I hope you liked today's lesson. If you did, leave me a comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what else you would like to learn about, whether it's on guitar or just generally in music. I'm starting all sorts of different focuses on technique and tone and songwriting and anything under the sun. Throw it at me and I'll try to make a video about it, okay? So thanks for watching, and until next time, go rock it! Because if you don't, I'm gonna find you.